Okay, hi, welcome to the podcast. I'm Nolan.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Amber.
Welcome to Clocked Out Creatures.
Yay.
Sorry, you do it. Thank you. Sorry, you could do it one more time if you want. Awesome.
Yay. Got that MF twang on him.
MF Twang. Did you guys hear MF Twang died? It's tragic. It's sad. Rest in peace, MF Doom.
We're off to a great start, as you can tell.
It is currently 2 degrees outside here in the desert.
In Arizona.
I got my 1-string ukulele going. No, I won't do it. I lost the twang. I've lost my magic. Yeah,
the
just
other
for
string
atmosphere.
is like...
It's like a watch underneath it. That's bizarre. Why do we have a broken ukulele just like hanging around?
Mia.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason.
I'm enjoying it. I must say, I'm enjoying it.
The other one's technically broken too.
It's breaking even more the more I touch it.
It's not gonna get better.
No, it's not. I can fix it. I can do this. I can fix it, guys. There we go. Don't worry, guys. I fixed it.
The twang is back.
I think Mia brought it in so that you could draw hands.
She did. I asked her to.
Yeah.
Guitar playing hands
Guitar
for
playing
Elmira.
It's so hard to look at you right now.
You just... He's got that squinty, like, mischievous smile going.
I just want to play music, you know?
It's my passion.
It's my art.
Twing.
If I released an album that was like 24 tracks long of like this type of music, followed
I'd
with
buy
like distant like screamo, would you guys buy it?
Distant screamo.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
distant
I
screamo.
was
Like
gonna
it's
say,
loud.
You know that Amber and I would buy it.
I'd buy it because
I'm
I
not-
support you.
Would
I'm
you-
not sure that
If
I don't
it
know
was-
if I'd ever use it.
If it was awful, would you guys be honest with me? Would you guys tell me it was bad?
Yes, but I'd still buy it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's
I'd be
all
like,
I
this
care
is
about.
terrible,
Is that you're
thank you,
honest
Nolan.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys wouldn't be like, it's interesting. You got quite the. It's a very unique sound you've got going there.
It's very
you know?
complex. It's an acquired sound.
It's an acquired sound you got going on there. I think that's the worst way you could describe something. Well, it's acquired. Like, that just means you expose yourself to it long enough that you get numb to it.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily like it, but you just kind of like are able to tune it out at some point.
Especially in that case.
It just becomes listening to 24 tracks of white noise where you just kind of like go to another zone for a while, you know?
There you go. You could release it as meditation videos on YouTube.
There you go. And people one twangy string and then someone in the distance like screaming like, I hate my dad or something. Because that's what I would do. I would put him like really low in the mix so that he's like, it sounds like he's like across the street or something, you know?
Like across the field.
They're
like,
playing like somebody's doing screamo somewhere, but it's probably like in the house over or something. You can hear it upstairs.
Like, you know those videos on YouTube that are like Waluigi car crash with this song in the background? Yeah, it's that vibe.
Wario dies in a car crash listening to Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, that's
before.
what it is.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's just the one that came to my mind, but there's plenty more.
It would be like that. It would be listening to a distant screamo, but you're crying in the club and don't know why. That's what it would be. Yeah, ASMR roleplay. It would be a fun time. We should start doing. I think it would be really funny.
We're not doing that.
Okay, but I think it would be really funny if we did an ASMR episode of the podcast where
I would not listen
we just
to
have like bags of chips and stuff that we're like crinkling into it. One of us like takes a long sip like out of a cup, like swallows. Yeah, do that real quick.
Warning.
Should I not have ripped that? Wait.
What did you
What is
rip?
this?
Oh my god, what did you just Oh my god.
Episode 2. Notes.
I think it's okay.
I think it might be lines. It's fine. It's okay. It's good. I swear. Whose drink is this?
Don't drink it, Amber.
Don't do it.
Don't do it for the views.
For the views, for the likes.
I want to do it not for the lols, not for the raffles, not for the Reddit
There you go.
upvotes. I
You
want to
should
do it
just
for
shake
anything,
that.
Amber.
Even if it's genuine.
Not for the Reddit gold, not even that. Don't do it for the Dogecoin, Amber. Nobody likes
That
it.
package of push pins.
What did you just do? Did you just ran into a pile
I
of
just ran
push-pins?
into a tripod, not a pile of push.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's not fun. You ran into my Home Alone trap. I've set up
Oh,
over
no, wait.
72 unique Home Alone
Unless you wanna
traps.
do it, you can
I
do
don't
it.
know why you're giving this to me.
I
Actually,
wasn't.
I've set up 72 very unique Home Alone traps in
Soft
this
ASMR
office, and
over
nobody's
the-
found it yet. But they're quite deadly, I can assure you. Just in case a
I
burglar's
just want
coming.
every viewer to know, except for Mia. Mia has to not listen to this part. We have a regular.
Alright, I'm done. Sorry.
We have a regular sized trash can in the bathroom, right? Like an office like a little trash can. There's like the trash can that's like built into the bathroom. It's like on the wall, the metal one.
Yeah, load bearing.
And I was like, I wonder if we have any trash in there because we never empty it. And lo and behold, there are 3 water guns
What?
in it.
Is that where those went?
Yes.
Why were they in the bathroom?
Dustin hid them like 3 months ago when we got them.
Did anybody find... Okay, has anybody found the baby head yet?
No.
We don't know where that thing is.
No, okay, so Dustin said that he put it on the little, pipe thing over there by the fridge where he put the skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it's gone. And he didn't move it, so we don't know where it is.
Where the
now.
hell did the baby head go?
We're thinking Tangy might have moved it while we weren't here.
God, that's evil. That's diabolical.
Maybe.
That's... Yeah.
I have to tell you all that
know.
I would not be sad if the baby head never came back.
I
Why
love
not?
the baby
What's
head.
wrong
What are
with
you
the baby
talking
head?
about?
Really seriously dislike the baby head.
I feel like we need to be saying rubber before it. Rubber baby head.
The rubber
Not actually.
wait.
head.
Well, they know.
I think
but,
you
like,
need to say the creepy, sticky rubber baby head, which
Yeah.
may or may not appear on the ceiling above you at any time.
It's not fun. It's kind of like... It's like,
I was like, maybe it's on the ceiling.
Right.
You guys ever seen The Exorcist 3? I know you have. We watched it
Yes.
together. But you remember the old lady who's like crawling around on the ceiling? I feel like the baby head is that. Every
That,
once in a while I'll look up and be like, is it up there? Is it going to lunge at me? Like, I don't know.
It might.
It
Probably.
could. It could is the thing. And that's
Okay,
what's so
I
scary
will
about
say
it.
the only thing worse than having the baby head, though, is having the baby head missing.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Because
At
it
least
could
you
be
know
anywhere.
where it's at when
like-
you do.
I feel like...
Just appear.
Because I feel like
Time
I'm...
and place.
I think it's just like hiding in a drawer somewhere right now.
I think
but
so.
that Tangy or Dustin or whoever has it...
Look at
Yeah, we should look in that shoebox. Whoever has it, they're waiting
it's
for
heavy.
us to
Yeah, it's got shoes
forget
in it.
about the baby head, right?
I didn't think it would actually have shoes in it.
They're like,
Oh, they're
my
fine
shoes
filming.
for filming.
oh,
I forgot about that.
hey, you got filming shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're, anyways, I was just gonna say,
Sorry.
I think that they've hidden the baby head so that they're gonna hide it long enough that we forget about it, so that it will fall on our head at some point and it'll give us
Oh
all
my
heart
gosh,
attacks.
I would
you know?
literally
I think, what if...
just leave.
Scream my entire body inside out. Yeah. It would not be fun.
I don't like that image.
If you're gonna do that, will you warn us so that we can get it on film?
Yeah, 4K.
And so we can
slow-mo.
hide.
Yep. Yeah. It wouldn't be pretty. Someone flipping inside out would not be pretty at all. What were you gonna say, Amber?
Go gadget, inside out that. Anyway,
You just can do that. Just
maybe it's up on the ledge.
It could be.
It might be up on the ledge.
There's like a little ledge shelf that's kind of like, I don't know, what is that, like 9 feet up? It's pretty high up. It's really high up. That kind of runs around like this wall that like divides the back and front of the office. And it could be up there. He may have just like hidden it far back enough that you can't see it from like ground level. I don't know. That's a possibility.
So like he can't get up there, so he would have had to.
Bloop.
He would have had to thrown it. would have had to have thrown it up there.
Or used a ladder.
Or we don't have a ladder though.
We borrow a ladder sometimes. There was a ladder here for months.
Dustin's hiding that too.
Dustin's hiding the ladder too, yeah.
Have either of you ever seen Hemlock Grove?
No.
No.
No, I haven't.
No.
You should check it out sometime. But anyway, there's this really cool moment where one of the characters turns into a werewolf, but it's my favorite.
We're gonna say turns into a ladder.
Human to werewolf transition. I've just been thinking about it because Nolan said he was going to scream himself inside out.
Yeah.
And it made me think of that moment, but I'm not going to tell you. But it's my favorite human to werewolf transition.
We'll have to watch it. We can put it on the list.
It's usually, like, I love the concept of werewolves in scary movies, but that's usually the letdown. Every time, right, is the transition.
Yeah.
Like, no one's really ever done it well. It's always comical.
I'll say I watched American Werewolf in London not too long ago, and the transformation in that is pretty gross.
Yeah.
I think they do a good job in that. They make it look really kind of painful.
No, I'm just saying, but a lot of the time, that's where they lose you, right?
Right.
I like Teen Wolf.
I've never seen Teen Wolf,
It's
actually.
so good.
The movie, not the TV series they did. I didn't watch that.
All I know about that is that in, like, the final shot in the gymnasium, there's some dude in the crowd that's got his dick out.
What?
Like, in the background. I don't know. That's all that I know about that.
Wow.
There's just some guy in the background that if you zoom in, he's just sitting there. He's just standing there menacingly. I don't know why.
Thank you for that Easter
That's
egg.
quite the Easter egg.
God, I hope that's Teen Wolf. I hope that's not some other movie now. I'm going to have people going to the end of Teen Wolf like, there's no guy.
There's no dick out.
Pretty sure. Hey, wait a minute. I've been cheated out of dick. Wait a minute. I got him.
I can't tell you how many times I've uttered that phrase.
Felt that.
Amen, sister.
Amen, Rachel.
Amen, Rachel. Yes, Rachel. No, I had something else to say. Oh, I was gonna say, have you guys ever watched X-Files?
Yes.
There's a.
Only the bits that you've made me watch.
Have I made you watch bits of X-Files? I think I made you watch some X-Files. Which parts did we watch?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I made you watch some of it though. But anyways, there's an episode with like a werewolf on like a Native American like reservation, right? Mm-hmm. And they never show you like the transformation completely. They show you like parts of it. But the way they do that, the way they do that is really gross. And you may have seen that episode at one point. Yeah,
I've seen all of the X-Files.
it's so good. I love X-Files. Well,
not to date myself or anything, but I did watch it when it was, on TV.
yeah. I was but not even a fetus at that point. I was negative 12 or something. I don't actually think the math adds up on that. But the way they do that is really good because it's like. The way that it transforms is not just like you get all hairy, but like your skin like rips off and they like shed their skin all over the place. So they're just finding like big gross chunks of skin, and you watch it happen at one point, and it's so gross.
That sounds horrible.
It looks really scary.
I want to see that.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't
really
want to watch
Also, I
Hemlock
do.
Grove then.
X-Files.
It's better than that.
Is Hemlock Grove pretty good with
It's
theirs?
good.
I gotta look at it. It sounds pretty bad. Like the thing they do with
There were
werewolves.
things I really liked about Hemlock Grove, and then things that I didn't. Just like with any scary story, really, I suppose. But
Is it a movie or a show?
it's a TV show.
It's a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look it up. Would it be like a massive spoiler if I looked up like a werewolf transformation or something from that, or not
No.
really? No?
No, you can just watch the It doesn't really give anything away.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it shows you that one of the people's a
The guy
werewolf, but I'm pretty
or
sure that's
something,
in the
yeah.
description of the show.
Yeah, yeah. And we're going through X-Files right now, and I'm trying to remember. Where like it kind of transitions, because like it gets to a certain season, and then like David Duchovny was like, "I'm not Mulder anymore," because he had like a contract dispute, I believe. It was something to do with payment.
Yeah.
Like they didn't pay him fairly
It
or
was very
something.
controversial at the time.
Yeah, I don't remember what all the details are.
I don't remember either.
But he left, and so there's like an entire season where like they're looking for Mulder, and the only times you ever see him, he's like way off in the distance. And they're like, Mulder! And he's like, like whips his head around and then like runs into the desert, and it's like, that's not David.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, because
Wow.
he's
It's a whole
like
season
on the
of the
run. Like they tie it in pretty well, but I'm trying to
I was
remember.
actually
what happens.
Still an alright season.
Yeah, they did that with Scully too. There was a part where, well, I'm gonna spoil X-Files, guys. Sorry, X-Files spoilers, but there's they tied in kind of a similar thing because Scully, her actress Gillian Anderson, she got pregnant around the time of season 2, and they're like, well, like, how the heck are we gonna hide that, you know? So the only times they really show her in season 2, it's always from like chest up kind of a thing, like you never see like below that, and then she ends up getting like abducted and she's gone for like an entire season.
Wow.
And they work it in really well, actually. Like it ends up kind of like tying in really well, but that's a good example of rolling with the punches, I would say. I don't know.
My stomach is rumbling really loudly, and I don't know why, so I'm sorry. If you can hear that. I don't think you can, but...
That's okay. We'll forgive
It's
you.
bugging me, nonetheless.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's okay.
It's alright. That was a show that I remember when I first watched through it, like, it kind of ran out of steam for me at the end, you know? It got to the point where, like, they were replacing, like... Because they replaced, like, Scully and Mulder at some point, and Scully's kind of, like, supporting... role, you know? She's like not like a main character. She's kind of there to help in every other episode or so. And it kind of like ran out of steam at that point for me. And then like the last season, if I remember, they bring back both of them and kind of push the side characters away. And it just kind of, for me, it was just kind of like, I don't know. It was whatever.
I feel like a lot of shows from that time period, they didn't make it till the end. You know what I mean? Like, it just used to kind of be a thing shows dead where they just kind of
stopped.
Outlived their welcome.
Yeah. Oh, and then they brought it back, and like, I kind of
Okay, I do have to admit, I did not watch the new...
Oh, okay.
I haven't watched that yet.
I won't.
I just couldn't bring myself to yet. It's like on my list, but I just haven't made it a priority.
Okay, I won't really say anything about it then. I have my opinions about that. Like, there's some things I think they do really well, and other things that I'm like that remind me specifically of like those later seasons.
Right.
Specifically, like when they try to do like the more comedic episodes. It was just weird. I don't know. I won't get into it, but yeah, that's a show that kind of didn't crash and burn, but it definitely kind of got less interesting as it went along for me personally. It's hard to bring back a show like that, you know?
Oh yeah, especially a show that, like, I know why, but X-Files like meant a lot to people. Like people got really connected with the characters and drawn into the storylines, and it was a big deal at the time. And so it's really hard to regain your momentum from something like that.
Oh yeah, especially if you have like a dip like that. I'd say a show that came back with like a lot of grace though was Twin Peaks. You guys have you watched Twin Peaks, right? I've told you to you should watch it.
I've started it.
You did?
Yeah, I watched like most of the first episode.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
It's a show that gets better. So you have to stick with it for a minute.
Yeah.
And then you'll notice you get sucked in though.
Yeah. Season 2 gets very strange towards the middle, and it kind of turned away a lot of people. Season 2 essentially killed the show, but then that like final episode really brings it back. Like they really nail that final episode, and then the show was gone for like 25 years. and David Lynch was like, I'll make a movie. People like movies, and he made like a movie, and I love that movie, but like it wasn't what people wanted at the time, because people wanted some kind of closure after season 2, and the movie was a prequel. And so a lot of people were like super mad about it, and then like when the new show came out, people were like, oh, they're finally going to wrap up season 2. They do not. They do. They wrap it up in a nice little bow, but I think that it's, I don't know. I love it. I think it's great because it's so like experimental and weird, but I think it's, I don't know. I think it's something that a lot of people didn't like because they didn't want. I think the problem is that like, it's a David Lynch thing, and David Lynch is very much like interpretive. Like, he makes all his things so that, like, whatever you get out of it, that's great. And I think with a mystery show like that, a lot of people were just like, I need answers, not more riddles, you know, and it pretty much just gives you more riddles. But I love it. I think that it's one of those shows where, like, what you get out of it is kind of up to you, and I I really enjoyed my time with it and what I got out of it, I guess. Anyways.
The only, like, show that was, like, of that sort of style of show that I watched, wow, that was so long, was Bones. I really liked Bones while it was on TV, and I got into it for a while, and then it ended, and I was sad.
Yeah.
So.
I've been wanting to watch that for a while now. That's been one of those, like, it's on the crime show list of things I need to watch. Like, Brenda was not too long ago watching Criminal Minds. I think she caught up to it. And I think that when she's done with that, she said she might want to watch, like, House or Bones or something along those lines. One of those, like, investigative type things. House is, like, an investigative type show, right?
Makes
It's like a
mad.
doctor show.
Yeah, I was going to say, House is a doctor
It's
show.
frustrating.
Okay.
And you know how you hear people complaining about Disney ruining, you know, men because they create some sort of ideal and then we're expecting to be rescued by these princes and it doesn't although I've never really seen that. Most of the men in Disney are either like non-existent or not that great. I mean, Prince Philip came in and killed the dragon. That was pretty cool, but
Yeah.
But
But they make mistakes. I don't know. They're human for the most part, you know? Yeah.
But Disney disappointed me because princesses sing in Disney and animals clean their houses. Now that I would much rather have
get
that
behind
service.
that, yeah.
I'm just saying. But House creates this unrealistic expectation where there's this team of doctors that super care about what's wrong with you, especially if you're difficult to diagnose, and they're gonna like come in and rescue you when you're ill. And so then if you actually ever do get sick,
You're never gonna.
you're not gonna have that experience.
Ouch.
In my experience, and in everyone I know who is ill's experience.
It's just it's one of those ideological things. It's like
I
a
love the
fantasy
idea
almost.
that there's
yeah.
a doctor house somewhere.
Yeah,
and maybe
but
there
like-
is.
Well,
But,
it's-
but I've just never heard of him in real life.
It's more of an escapist type show.
Yeah.
I think the problem with certain shows like that is when they treat it as an escapism type thing, but they ground a lot of the storylines in reality.
They do, and you can tell they're like
That's
using
exactly
like
what it
real
is.
illnesses in house, which is cool.
Yeah.
at least it's authentic.
I think there's a balance to it to be struck there. I think the
like-
thing is, if you're going to do something like that, you either have to like hyper exaggerate the emotions so that people understand it's completely fictional, or make the scenarios so preposterous that there's no way it could be real, you know?
Right.
It's hard to find that balance in a show where they both want to be extremely serious and down to earth and realistic, but also want like the episode of Grey's Anatomy where a dude's got a bomb inside of him, and it's like
The two people come in and they're stuck together by a pole.
Grey's Anatomy, man. I have my complaints.
And they
with
have
that
to pick
show.
which one of them lives and which one dies.
Oh, they
Forgot about that.
just kill them both. I don't know.
They're doctors.
I think doctors care a little bit more than
The
that.
old train conundrum: run over all the people and then kill the other dude.
Oh.
Yep.
It is like
No.
I thought it was fascinating though, like CSI, for example. They wanted to come up with like these really cool, creepy ideas, and they were trying to come up with storylines on their own, and then they realized that if they actually like looked up real cases and based their stuff on like real crime, that real people had done worse things in real life than anything they could come up with in their imaginations.
Yeah.
And so most of the stories are actually based on real cases. And I thought that was really creepy.
It is
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to know that.
That's strange.
Yeah, because they have like crazy stuff in there, right?
Yeah.
People are crazy,
And I'm sure
man.
they sensationalize it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that some of it was, but I just thought that was fascinating. Like, yeah, that's not
Yeah.
enough to give you nightmares.
No. I don't know. And it's weird because there's shows like that are in the same vein where they'll take something sensational and drop it into like a real world setting, and it works for some reason. I'd say X-Files is one of those shows because it's inherently weird and like outlandish scenarios, but it's in a very like played straight kind of thing. I don't know why that works and like something like House doesn't.
Yeah, and I feel like X-Files worked well because a lot of the content that they're creating is based on like stories we grew up with, right? Stuff that you've always heard about or wondered about.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like,
It's like, that can't be real.
and not like for everybody, but everybody had some episodes that they could relate with. Like, oh yeah, I've always wondered about that. Or I've heard about that since I was little.
Yeah.
You know, that's a story from my region. Or I don't know. It was just really interesting.
Yeah. That's why it's one of my favorite shows. I like that
And
show a lot.
I do feel like part of that too is a lot of the stuff in the X-Files, even if it's like creepy or awful, we're still like, I kind of hope it's true just because
Oh, yeah.
it's interesting. Whereas you never really want to be sick or think about being sick or
That's
think about the
true.
realities
Yeah.
of being sick.
That's true. There's some kind of region in your brain where you recognize that, like, okay, obviously there's no such thing as, like, a fluke man or whatever. I don't have to worry about this, but it's real to these people, and that's all right. But when it's like, this character's battling, like, hepatitis or whatever, it's like, well, that doesn't feel very fictionalized.
Yeah.
I know people that have had hepatitis. This isn't fun. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's harder.
Like,
It's
you don't
just
want it
harder.
to be real.
Not that hospital dramas can't work.
Just
I'm drawing a blank on how to follow that up right now, but
it's for certain people.
sure.
Yeah, and some of the biggest television series and franchises have been about hospitals.
Yeah, like my
ER.
mom loves the ER shows. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot.
911.
I mean, George Clooney was on ER though.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty sure he carried it, but
Pretty sure that's the reason she watched it.
Probably.
I think that's why we all watched it.
Probably.
And I was little.
I
He was still real cute.
I was trying to remember the name of this show because there's a show that ends in a very weird way. It's a hospital drama. It was called Saint something. I just lost it.
yeah.
Saint.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna look it up. Show that ended in spoilers. Okay, it's called Saint Elsewhere. Okay, and it's a show that went on for like a lot of seasons, and it was like kind of a regular hospital drama from like I think it was 70s or 80s, right? But it ends. The reveal is that the entire show has taken place in the mind of a mentally handicapped child with a snow globe, and all these characters were thought up by him.
What?
It's like
That's
such a twist that comes out of nowhere. Like there's no build up to it or anything, but just randomly they're like, I don't know, it's in a snow globe, and it just like pans out of the snow globe, and this kid's like looking at it, and like his dad or whatever is like, I wonder what goes on in that head of yours sometimes, and it's like, well, apparently like 7 seasons of a show. This child just like wrote in his mind. The child's a savant, man.
I wonder if
Give that child a
did they
typewriter.
ever like follow up on that with anything, or
I don't think so.
It was just that was it.
Pretty sure that was the end of the show.
Wow.
It's just such a weird way to end a show because it's like it has nothing to do with anything.
That's my favorite way to end things, though. Like I love that like plot twist at the end, and it's like completely not what you wanted it to be.
Yeah,
I
we like
like-
things as long as there's an end, though.
I like
Yeah.
plot
Like Wizard of
twists
Oz.
where the plot twist makes sense to some
That's
extent. A plot twist only works if in retrospect it makes you rethink the entire story and where you can go back and watch it with a new set of eyes and be like, that makes more sense, you know? Like The Sixth Sense, which I won't spoil.
Right.
But
I was gonna say, have either of you seen
Yeah.
Memento?
What is that one about?
Maybe.
No, wait,
I'm like,
that's
no
the
spoilers.
That's the Christian Bale one, right? Is it Christian Bale? No, I'm thinking of the wrong one. It's a Christopher Nolan movie, right? I don't think I've seen it. I don't think I've seen Memento at all.
Yeah, we won't talk about it. I don't know how to talk about it at all.
It's one of
Read
those
us the
ones.
description.
Have you seen The Sixth Sense?
Yes, I've seen The Sixth Sense. Everybody's seen The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, it's great. That's like one of the coolest twists ever because it recontextualizes everything, and the next time you're watching it, you're like, oh.
I want to watch 13 Ghosts.
Oh yeah, so I guess the
Scooby-Doo?
easy thing you could say, it's about...
That's a legitimate question. You're talking about the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo?
No.
Oh.
I didn't know that was the thing. 13
Never mind.
Ghosts is
So
a movie.
Memento is
okay.
about a guy who's trying to track down the person who murdered his wife, but he has no short-term memory.
Oh, okay.
So he, like,
It's like
leaves himself...
clues.
clues.
Because he's got
and
like
he,
a bunch
gives
of
himself
tattoos, right?
tattoos.
Yeah.
He leaves himself, like, Polaroid clue. Anyway.
Yeah, I've heard about that. It's
Why
been...
you should... I I want to watch that.
Yeah, it's
need to
definitely
watch
the
that.
kind of movie that you watch more than once.
Okay. I need to see that.
Because once you've seen the ending, you're like, oh, no, wait, now I have to rewatch this entire movie.
Yeah.
So we'll make like a day of it, so you can watch it 4 times.
I think that the Saint, oh god, I forgot its name again. The Saint show, the hospital show. I think
Saint Elsewhere.
Saint Elsewhere. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's probably because of that show that we have so many of the pointless theories about like Adventure Time takes place in the mind of a child in a coma. Ash is in a coma.
You are
Did
right,
you know
though.
that?
It is a Christopher Nolan movie, which I didn't actually know.
I was right.
Or I didn't remember. I'm sure I knew.
Never seen the movie. I guess I knew who made it though. But yeah, it's just that type of theory that ultimately it doesn't really contribute to anything. It's the same as like the end of that show where it's like it doesn't really recontextualize anything because it doesn't really make you think about the character's actions anymore. It's just like, okay.
The only one I've
It's in
heard
her
that's like
brain.
actually like makes you rethink about the characters is the SpongeBob ones.
The 7 Deadly Sins, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That one's kind of interesting. There's that one does make sense because I have heard people say that like it was kind of a loose basis for the show, but like I think it gets to be kind of a stretch when they're like Gary is gluttony because SpongeBob feeds him, and it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
He does
like,
eat a lot.
everybody
though.
eats.
Like a literal vacuum.
But Patrick eats more.
That's true.
I don't know. It's just the whole thing is.
There was also that one
It makes
episode
sense.
where Squidward ate all of the Krabby Patties.
That's true.
So
Got thick. Squidward.
thick.
Go straight to your thighs.
Everybody say
And then you'll blow up.
Thick.
Yep. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not saying that.
You
Anyway.
said it first.
No. I don't
Too
know.
late.
I don't remember that. I don't think that happened.
Oh, no.
Just gonna play.
It's reverted to the
If you like
music.
fuses out.
Hey, that almost sounded like music that time.
I'm getting better. Did you know the
Over the past,
guitar
like, 20
playing runs in my family?
I did not.
My papa
Got
played
that
guitar, me daddy played guitar, my brother played guitar at one point. I don't play any instrument actually. I'm not
Yes, you
good at it.
do.
I have a keyboard, but I can't play it. I just kind of like ding, 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 like mess around with it and like don't make anything with it, I guess. That's it. I should. Someday, and this will be the backing track. You know, it'll be
Yeah.
great. People are gonna love it.
I played the clarinet.
So
Did you
did I.
actually?
Not for very long, but I did.
You guys actually played the clarinet?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I really wanted to switch from the clarinet to the saxophone, but
Oh yeah.
Saxophone seems scary, so I didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
because that's actually a pretty common change.
Mhm.
Because it's really hard to go from the saxophone to the clarinet, but it's easier to go from the clarinet to the saxophone. Anyway,
Brenda's little brother plays saxophone. And he doesn't play it as much anymore, but he has it.
He seems like a saxophone person.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm like, can I like, I just want to be like, can I borrow the saxophone? I can't make noise with it, but like I want to try.
I can teach you how to
Well,
make noise with it at
Yeah,
least.
yeah.
when I was in high school, I was really into punk music and then kind of transitioned into ska. So then I was like, now I need to learn to play the saxophone.
That makes sense. Rachel. I can see that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to play the saxophone.
I actually
if you're gonna play
graduated
ska.
in a dress and Converse All-Stars, and we all, in our friend group, we all skanked across the podium
Oh my
to get our
God.
diplomas.
Is there footage of this?
I need to see
Maybe.
that.
Do you think
a good
there's
question.
is there like VHS footage that we can like upscale to 4K?
I will contact
maybe?
your mother probably after this podcast is over.
Hello, you don't know me, but Rachel graduated and apparently did like some ska dance or something. Do you have footage of this?
Wow.
That's awesome, Rachel.
It was really fun.
That sounds like a fun time. This was for which graduation? For
High school.
High school. Yeah.
I remember almost tripping on the little steps that we had. Yeah.
That's no fun. That's no fun at all.
I was wearing flats and my shoe, like, they were a little bit big, so they, like, came off the back of my foot, and I almost tripped over it, and it was almost so bad, but I saved it. It was good.
Yeah.
We
there
did
you
have
go.
a girl that got her heel stuck in the, like, thing, though, and she fell.
That
So,
sucks.
there's always
I
at
thought
least
that
one.
was going to be me.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that was. I'm about the most accident-prone person I've ever met, and so everyone was like waiting.
But you wore Converse.
And then I didn't. And I was like, ah.
Yeah, exactly. That was the only reason I didn't wear heels, because I didn't want to be that person.
Even out of heels, they were expecting you to trip up those steps. Oh man.
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah. We're glad you're still here, Rachel. Or are you? Is this all taking place in the mind of Rachel, actually, who's in the hospital?
I was going to say, you're all in a snow globe.
We're all in a snow globe in Rachel's brain, yeah. I wonder what's going on in that brain of yours, Rachel. Hope you're not
Coraline
hallucinating
similar to that? Like,
Coraline's
it has to do with the snow
interpretive.
globe.
I'd say that's one of those movies that's more like interpretive. Like, you could see it that way, but also it could just be she went to like a magical world, or she could have made it all up. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, it has to do with her sleeping too, though, because like she goes to sleep and then she wakes up like in the other world at one point.
Yeah, it could just be her brain trying to deal with the fact that she has a strained relationship with her parents or something, you know? And this is all allegories. It's up to you. It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
It's whatever.
Don't ask about it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. No, but that is like a valid interpretation of it. Like, the movie we watched not too long ago that you watched, Amber and I watched, was Return to Oz. It's very similar. Have you ever seen that one, Rachel? Return to Oz?
I don't know.
It's a really good one.
I feel like you would know if you have.
You would like that movie. It's
I would not forget.
I'm getting up there. I've seen a lot of movies now.
Return to Oz, it's very like steampunk inspired, and it's like little Dorothy, and she looks nothing like.
She looks nothing like a previous actress.
No.
Is it live action or animation?
Live action.
Live action.
They got Wheeler monkeys.
Oh God.
They're just called the Wheelers, but I call them the Wheeler monkeys.
I think they might not be called weird monkeys.
They're just the
I want to
Wheelers.
say they look like monkeys though.
Yeah.
But yeah, they Return to Oz is a live action film in which they return to Oz. It's a great movie, but they like go back.
Totally isn't even the same.
Dorothy goes back, and it's like it's kind of like the Narnia effect, where she goes back and it's like an absurd amount of time has passed, and like the Emerald Kingdom is gone.
It's like
the Yellow Brick Road is like destroyed and things like that. It's really cool, really cool movie. But it's a similar kind of thing where, in the end, it's like, did she actually go to Oz? Is she hallucinating? Is she just like a little kid? Like,
even in the
knows?
beginning, they're saying that too, because they're like, "Don't talk about Oz. What did we say? We're not going to talk about it."
Yeah, and Oz is
it's not real.
Yeah, they do that.
The
various Oz storylines, and they did that in. I just lost it. In the Wonderland stories too.
Oh yeah, yeah. They
You're
do.
always like, did she go to Wonderland or did she imagine Wonderland?
Yeah, that's I always like those kind of stories, because while there is like a mythology to follow in like Wonderland or Oz, and there's like all these different things you could get into the technicalities of, there's also a case to be made that it is just a little girl thinking up this place or dreaming of it, you know, because in the first movie, in the original one, they have multiple actors playing, you know, characters in the real world and in Oz, and that's all obviously intentional. And they do the same thing in this one, where you get characters in the real world that kind of reflect characters in Oz as well. Like, you'll have like the Doctor, who's also plays like the Gnome King, like the big villain, and like the Doctor's gonna give her electroshock therapy. So it's like obviously he's the villain, you know.
Concept as the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that the part where, I don't remember exactly everything from the ending, but like in the beginning part anyway, I'm still convinced that when he goes to give her the electroshock therapy and the power conveniently gets blown out at the exact same moment is when she like it switches to the other world technically, and like she's like knocked out in a coma or something.
Oh, like the electroshock worked, and then it's just in her head. That's totally a valid argument to be made.
What's her face comes and like guides her through the forest and stuff.
Yeah, because that's when the little girl shows up. She's just like there.
Have either of you ever seen Sucker Punch?
No,
I have never seen it. I've never seen it. I know what it is. Know what it is. I've heard it's alright.
Another one for the
list. I need to see it. It's on the list. I'm never gonna get through this damn list.
That's how I feel about movies. There's literally endless.
Did you know did you know there's billions of movies that if you wanted to watch all of them, you literally could not? Isn't that fun?
Right? Isn't that weird to think about?
You gotta pick and choose.
So, like, every time my children rewatch Frozen...
There's so many other ones you
You're
can
like,
pick from.
we could be watching anything. Come on.
No.
Don't you kids want to watch Scorsese? They're like, yeah.
I literally watched Labyrinth on VHS.
Oh, Labyrinth is really good.
Until it broke.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
that.
so I've always had, like, endless patience about my children rewatching things.
Yeah.
Although I
everybody
do
does
kind
it.
of try to guide them, like,
Try this
oh,
one.
maybe we should watch this over and over and
Oh,
over.
sure,
again.
yeah.
That's like me. My Nightmare Before Christmas VHS it's getting there.
Mm.
I'm a little sad about it.
I've got the Star
I was gonna
Wars.
say, we need to get you the Bluray.
We'll get you the Blu-ray.
I don't even have a Blu-ray player.
We'll get you
Get you
the
a PlayStation 4.
Betamax. I don't know. We'll find something. We'll get you the Laserdisc. How do you like Laserdisc? You got a player? Yeah.
I think it's cool you have a VHS, though.
Yeah.
I did. I
You
have
know,
an
they're
old
kind
TV.
of, like, coming back, right? Like, people are buying VHS for the first time.
People are very nostalgic
I saw
for
like
VHS
some
at this
Disney
point.
movies going for like kind of a lot the other day on eBay. I was like, oh my gosh.
They can go for a lot, yeah. I'm glad that my parents have kind of kept them around, if nothing else than just for sentimental reasons. There's a few cases where like things were only available on VHS, and that's like the only time you'll ever get them.
Exactly.
You know, and so it's good to have them preserved for that reason. One of the prime examples of that is like the original Star Wars trilogy. Like I've got the VHSs before they were altered.
Right.
Not in any way, I should say, because
That's right.
Star Wars Episode 4 has like the opening crawl that says like Episode 4, A New Hope. It didn't originally say that. It just said Star Wars, and that was it. And then like when they started re-releasing it to theaters in the 70s, they added Episode 4, so that it was like maybe we'll do prequels, you know. And there's like 5 and 6, but I shouldn't say they're unaltered, but they're as close to unaltered as you can get on like a physical format, from what I understand, lest you buy unofficial things.
I love
Which
that
I
what
also have,
came
which
to
is good.
your mind was Star Wars, but what came to my mind was the Rugrats movie.
Well, that one we do have on like streaming services and stuff, which is good. But like
What,
Star
the orange
Wars,
VHS tape, like
Oh, yeah.
blue.
Oh, yeah. they always
Chef's
had the green VeggieTales VHS tapes, which I love.
Yes.
They were like lime green. Yes, they tasted so good.
so fruity.
So fruity. Wow. Yeah, I had a Sonic the Hedgehog VHS tape. They made like a Sonic anime, like an. No, it was so they made an OVA of Sonic in Japan in like the 1990s, right? And then they took like those two parts and released it in America as Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie. Even though it's only like 55 minutes long, it's really short. But I have the VHS of that that's like white with like blue print on it, and it's really nice. It looks really cool. It's an alright movie. It's a super weird movie. That movie's bizarre. Sonic talks like he's like trying to talk through swallowing helium or something. I don't know. He sounds like he's got a helium balloon stuck in his throat, and he's like constantly resisting high pitched. It's really funny. I don't know.
Resisting the high pitch. That's sounds great.
It's really good.
Can't wait to watch it.
Sure, absolutely. Is that it? I think we got to wrap it up. I think we're getting close to 5.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
We're like
wait,
1
what time
minute,
is it?
4:59.
It's 4:59.
So we're pretty close then.
Just about.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some time.
Yeah. Overtime, right? Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
We never welcomed them back to the podcast, so welcome back to the podcast.
Why are we so
We
bad
didn't say
at
who we are.
We didn't.
Yeah, this is Nolan,
Wait, let's insert the-
Rachel, and Amber. I was gonna say me.
Yeah, we'll insert this at the beginning real quick, as if it was the beginning. Okay, hi, welcome to the podcast. I'm Nolan.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Amber.
Welcome to Clocked Out Creatures.
Yay!
All right.
We're so good at that.
We're so good at that. All right, and people will insert that at the beginning, and no one will know.
Exactly. Perfect.
Yep, perfect.
Done deal.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.